Hi everybody, and welcome back to Mario and Luigi, Bowser's Inside Story. I'm Yamino Senshi.
And I'm Phoenix.
We just finished off Wisdom, got our first star cure. Let's head out of this incredibly long dungeon. Into the joint tower. This is just one of those little tiny areas. But it seems to be a small portion of Bowser's spine holding this thing up.
Yeah, not entirely sure. He just has spines everywhere.
Our resident expert in Bowser's anatomy has shown up. What's Toadbird have to say? The fact he can use those pipe raises a lot of questions. Can all the toads use the pipes to get around?
Probably?
Do they not really need to be plumbers? Can they just... Was that just their mass transit system?
Maybe.
Instead of sidewalks or trains or anything, it's just pipes go everywhere.
Would make sense.
Would explain why they're always everywhere.
They just need Mario and Luigi to, clean them out every so often.
Instead of plumbers, they're really just glorified janitors.
Yep, except the places are just large and pipe-shaped.
Because with all the people that would be using it every day, someone's gonna throw up. If they have a big round squeegee, they just push everything out one end.
Maybe. The squeegee is Luigi.
Squeeweegee.
Yep.
So somehow, again, Toadbird knows exactly what's up with Bowser's body.
He's super smart.
And apparently better at surviving than us.
He's creepily smart.
Because we just went through that dungeon, and he's like, oh, you guys just made it here. Good work, guys. Here, let me tell you all the stuff I found out since I've been here for the last 2 hours. It's not looking good. Oh, we just crushed Bowser's spine into powder.
Well, it was like his leg spine, so it's okay.
Okay, and then we dropped this into the core of Bowser's leg.
Yeah.
Apparently it was a good thing. Because it powered up his abs.
Don't use this as your biology study guide.
Yeah, this is... Yeah, but he can do body slams now, because...
Sure.
Because he can do body slams now.
Because you asymmetrically shattered one spine of one of his legs, he can now do body slams with his butt, or back, or belly, or I don't even know.
I do like how the resident tutorial bot does not actually know how to do it. Toadbird has to chime in. You can just leave Bowser up here for a while if you want. Admire his hovering abilities.
Just start orbiting the Earth.
He's slipped the surly bonds of this world, free from the tyranny of gravity. The one caveat with this, which I'm sure everyone is wondering, no, you can't use it to actually jump. As soon as you press the button, you are frozen wherever you were, so you can't get up cliffs or anything.
Probably not the best idea to give Bowser Mario's one power.
How are you still up there?
He's fine.
That one little bit was just nailed to the wall.
Yeah, or sticking... Oh.
Well, it broke both his legs and he's probably dead. So, face first. Nope, he's good. Backflips all around. We'll see him again when Bowser learns another new move.
He was a little slow getting up, though.
I do kind of wish Mario and Luigi stayed passed out for a little bit to give you an excuse to play as just Bowser.
Well, Luigi was still lying down at the end of that scene.
He's fine.
He's just hamming it up.
Doesn't he always?
He's a pro soccer player.
Yes. Our new body slam ability gives us two primary uses. The first, obviously, is these giant pink switches we've seen around. The other one that you'll find cracked or damaged floors, you can just use it to smash through. And our first piece of new equipment, we'll be getting a couple this video. The drumstick ring will randomly use a drumstick before your turn. This is a bit of an interlude video. I'll be doing a little back and side tracking now that we've got the drill and the body slam. Mostly just be making our way to the next dungeon.
Hey, you get to see these goofy guys again.
Oh, I love them so much. Can I have one as a pet?
Sure.
If you want one of your own, I recommend going to the Florida Everglades and bringing a vacuum. Gotta be portable, because there's no power in the swamp. And just pointing it at an alligator.
Yep.
Just boom. Instant free teeth and very tame pet.
Gotta feed him soft foods now, though.
Yeah, those beans are just go right around the world and clock him in the back of the head.
Maybe they like go off screen and then loop up and do like a loop-de-loop over the top where you can't see it.
That's a pretty sick spin if that's the case. So, I partially lied last video. While this raft does bring us backwards a little bit, there's also this, which you need to body slam to activate. And it's pretty self-explanatory, just jump up and smash down on the item you want. With better timing than that.
But I want all the items.
Nope. I figure the nuts are the most useful. And you get 5 of them. If you punch that ball, you'll get knocked into the water, and that will actually let you backtrack. There will be enough of that in this video. A bunch of stuff we can get now, and a couple things I missed previously. For now, though, on with Bowser's plot. Still head to the woods, because he still thinks the first Star Cure is there. In addition to forming a bridge, this button wakes this poor Goomba from his afternoon nap. It was so groggy from just being woken up so rudely, Bowser, you jerk. He doesn't even hear him being shouted at.
From like 20 feet away.
Yeah, I'm like that in the mornings too. Till I've had a hot shower, you can hit me with a brick and I wouldn't notice. Hey, it's actually a named Goomba.
Yeah.
Remember him from back when we were actually in the woods and trying to find a bazooka bill for the cannon.
It's part of the little, like, Bowser Minion Power Ranger squad.
Well, it's a full military unit. A lieutenant, a sergeant, and a private. This poor Goomba has to clean the latrines every night. And of course, Bowser takes time out of his busy, angry schedule to explain everything that's happened to this Goomba. And it's not even a plot recap, because he does it in a fade out.
Bowser doesn't even know what he's looking for looks like.
Star Cure, it's a cure that's star-shaped. I'm a little confused by that. Does the Goomba thinks he's awesome for stealing garbage?
No, I think he means he thinks that the story was garbage. Meaning that he didn't get it for solving a puzzle, he just stole it.
That makes a lot more sense, because I cannot see Bowser sitting down to do a puzzle.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe he just lines up all the pieces in a row and punches them into position.
Maybe there's like an alternate dimension Bowser running around that is actually Smart Bowser.
This convenient little skit reroutes Bowser. It lets him know that the first Dark Area has already been secured, and the second is in his castle, so that's where we're headed.
And Bowser doesn't think it's weird that the Toad guy told him where Secure was?
I mean, like, why would he even address the message to him?
Yeah, I mean, it was mostly for Mario and Luigi because they're inside him, but he doesn't know that.
If it wasn't addressed to him, then he would be kind of clued in that, like, why are you saying this now?
Yeah, I just find it weird that, like, well, not really weird because Bowser's not smart, but if he was smart, he'd be saying, why is this Toad giving me information?
And for some reason, Starlo's just like, oh, we'll let Bowser have this one. This little catapult just makes a shortcut back to the very beginning of the area. Just north of that screen is Toad Town. That's not where we're going, because Bowser is not welcome in Toad Town.
Nope.
So yeah, in case you were wondering, those little X's that Mario and Luigi have to dig up, they're everywhere.
There's so many of them.
Also, screw moles. Moles are jerks.
And if like you've played the previous games, they were in those as well, if I'm remembering correctly, the little X marks. So like, you play this one and you see them all over the place and you just know like, oh god, I'm gonna have to come back for these.
Yeah. I do actually have a plan for those now, which I will mention right now. I'm going to record them separately and then play them 4 at a time. I don't know how long that will actually make the video, but even sped up, doing them serially would just be brutally long.
Yeah.
And if anyone from the thread or the rest of the forums wants to chime in, be a bit of a guest, be more than welcome. Because there's not going to be much gameplay to talk about. Because it's going to be all areas we've seen, and just the same thing. But I do want to get them all.
Beans, and more beans.
We've actually been here before. This is the very west border of the plains. And this begins our first little bit of backtracking. Our first stop is inside Bowser, the Pump Works. You have to go back here to access it. Remember this little passage we couldn't get down before, but now we have the drill move. And the best part of revisiting old areas, battle's over.
So great.
It really speeds things up. The only thing better is Earthbound, where when you get into battle, it's just like, yeah, you'd win this one hands down, so.
Doesn't even bother going to the battle screen.
No. There's a handful of decent items back here, but there is one we very specifically want.
Should have a decent amount of money by this point.
Oh, you have no idea. I haven't done any off-screen grinding since the time I actually grinded for money, but we will be rolling in it by the time we're done. Damn it, Luigi. Trying to avoid combat. I go down here. It's a little bit of a pipe maze, but it's just 4 different screens. Not really much of a way to screw up.
It's nice and color-coded for you.
Yeah, making it easy. Yeah, let's do a little precision swimming. Swimming mechanics are fairly obvious. Press the button to swim. The problem is there's a delay on each individual brother. So if you get out of sync, you have to let one of them fall to get back in. Or else you end up doing one then the other back and forth. So we got the Guardian Socks. They are nice. They restore a bit of health and SP every turn.
That's very handy.
I did realize while recording this, if you're using the Excellent badge, you can use the hammer instead of the jump if you want to boost up your badge gauge on basic enemies. Now we have less precision swimming, but with enemies in the way.
But they're really weak enemies.
I did 117 on that counter.
It's a little odd that since this area is only accessible after you get the drill move, that the enemies aren't like slightly beefed up to compensate.
That's what I thought, but I guess they only have one set of underwater enemies. Here we have a nice little trick. If you're anywhere inside a Bowser area and you switch to Bowser and do a screen transition, it kicks you out.
Handy.
So we don't have to backtrack out of that dungeon. Next stop is back in the woods. We have some prizes to collect. We've been collecting blitties very diligently since the beginning. So far we've got them all, so it's time to cash those in. First it's time to forget where the store is.
It's always time to forget where the store is.
Now it's time to cash them in. We got a lot of cats.
They're everywhere.
Oh my god, I want one. We get the block band. And the block fangs. They just give you a defense boost. There's a third prize that also does the same. The fourth prize, on the other hand, is awesome. But it'll be a long time before we see that.
You'll have to encounter pretty much every enemy type, right?
Just about. You have to back out of the last dungeon to get it. That ends the Bowser-involved side questing, but we still have one more thing to do. First we're gonna put Bowser back where he needs to go. Then I'm going to remember, oh yeah, other thing. Well, not digging up beans, there is another thing to dig up. We are headed back to Toad Town to get some more mushroom balls. 6 more we couldn't get before. Annoyingly, the question marks would pop up, but you would jump in place and nothing would happen. And there's 3 on each screen. Easy enough, once you know where they are.
They're usually all in, like, little nooks and stuff.
Most of them. I just looked them all up, though.
Yeah.
I'm sitting on a backlog of 70 games. I can't be spending time flailing about trying to find mushroom balls. Time to hit up the Mushroom Kingdom Starbucks since we're still pretty banged up from the fight with Wisdom. We need the tip-top royal mushroom tea. Luigi will just have a soy latte. He's trying to watch his figure.
It's so cheap. Just 10 coins. You've got like over 6,000.
It's kind of ridiculous, yeah. In most games you're used to traveling town to town and the inn scales with your level and location.
Right.
By the time you reach the last town, you're like, oh, you want to stay at the inn? That'll be $4,000. Cash or credit? Nope, it will be 10 coins until the very last moment of the game. It will also be 10 coins after that, but I won't be around to see. We got 6 mushroom balls, so let's turn them in. One at a time, of course.
Well, they do each have their own prize.
Just give them to me all at once. Just, you got this, you got that, you got that. You get some beams from it, at least.
Quite a few.
5 of each. If you thought we were rolling in dough before, until we open number 15, we get 2,000 coins, so up to almost 10,000 now. And for the last one, we actually get a decent prize. The treasure specs will increase the chance of enemies dropping items. If you remember, we leveled up after the wisdom fight, and we ranked up, so now we can not be looked down upon in this shop.
By this guy that looks remarkably like the mushroom ball guy.
Yeah, I sense a conspiracy. Boy, we get bear scratch cards, now I can lose twice as hard.
You're only allowed to win scratch cards when you've only spent like 100 coins.
Or during test recordings.
Right.
I pretty much always get at least a mushroom. We are outfitting both brothers with some new threads. Give them some more defense and some more jump attacks, since that's what I tend to favor in battles. Yeah, we spent 5,000 cords, so we can at least get a little of that back. Nope, awful face. I don't know how high the stash goes, but nowhere near high enough. We are finally done with side questing. If you're outside Bowser, you can't regain control of him. Gotta go back inside. Apparently if you punch while it's still loading the area, it freezes for a second. Bowser just really wanted to show off the guns.
He's very proud of his muscles.
He worked very hard on that treadmill to set them on fire.
It should have unlocked some sort of fire punch attack.
Instead of just blowing up part of his castle and sending him far away. That last little jaunt out of the way, we are finally ready to get back on track and head for Bowser's castle again.
Yay! You can go eat yourself silly again.
Not yet, but I will. There is actually a room in the Flab Zone that I missed, but you can't get back to it until this point of the game. Well, you can, but it's a much longer walk. So instead of having to go through all the underground tunnel nonsense, we can just hop up these stairs and damage floor. Not sure if this really works out in the architectural sense, but anyway, just a quick spin over here. Bam, back in the castle.
Pipes are super handy.
The game's fairly good about giving you shortcuts and whatnot, at least around the overworld map. First I couldn't buy that great Fawful keychain, now I can't even buy any cookies. This place sucks.
The demand's too high.
Got here way too late.
You didn't, like, stay up for the midnight release.
I did not pre-order the cookies, no. Which gave me the exclusive Oatmeal Raisin DLC, too. And cookie armor.
Does that protect you from cookies, or is it made out of cookies? Or both?
It's made out of cookies. So in the middle of battle, you can heal just by munching. Lowers your defense, though. Obviously, the show is over.
Bowser should have his own cooking show. He, like, wouldn't even need to use an oven. He could just breathe fire on stuff.
Hey, it's these two. I remember these two. Oh, God, I also remember they made me want to throw up a little bit.
They're a little creepy.
A little bit. The ghost out in the lobby actually told us what we need to do. Gotta head up to the balcony.
Just leave those two alone.
Forever.
Again.
I love the Bowser statues with the glasses. Now I just know there's like 6 beans just right there. Oh my god, there's so many of those things.
There's way too many.
With our body slam, we can actually access the Bowser's Castle dungeon proper. I know there's a warp around here somewhere. It's not even cracked. If you want to make a quick exit, you can do there, but join us next time for Bowser's Castle.